Hi everyone. I just wanted to go over some common mistakes when it comes to our Cobra posture in yoga. So with Cobra posture, obviously I always give you options. There is full Cobra, you've got mini or half Cobra, but you've also got Sphinx where you're on the forearms. Now, the most common mistakes I probably see is the head position. So for instance, when people are in their Cobra position, they may be tipping their head too far back. Now, in a lot of videos and pictures, you will see when people are in the Cobra, they are actually taking that position of the head. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I personally prefer you to be either looking forwards or just slightly down at the floor. I feel that what happens when we're tipping that head back is we're straining this area of our throat, and we're also compressing the area of the very upper spine, the cervical spine. So if you've not got any neck issues, you've not got any disc issues, there's nothing going on in the cervical spine, then that's probably going to be fine to do. But just be aware that obviously if you spend a lot of time where you sort of using your neck muscles in the wrong way, then obviously this is going to impact as well, and that's not going to help. So again, with the head position, I would tend to either be, if you're in Sphinx, I would just tend to be sort of looking forwards and down. If you're coming into that full Cobra position, I would again still be looking forwards rather than tipping that head right back. So that's our first, I won't say mistake, but first sort of position that maybe avoid if you have any neck issues. The next one is the shoulders. So particularly if we're trying to push up into a full Cobra, I tend to see a lot of people be coming into this position. Now, often the shoulders are coming up here because the back isn't flexible enough or strong enough to be able to pull those shoulders down. So question is it better to get yourself into a full Cobra with your shoulders up here, or are you better off staying in a mini Cobra where your shoulders are away from your ears? And the answer to that is mini Cobra, shoulders away from the ears, because all we're doing is creating tension again in that upper back, upper neck area. So being here isn't a good position because your back isn't in the right place. Your chest also is tight, so you're pulling those shoulders round, and so therefore, as I say, if you can get to that position and pull the shoulders down and draw the shoulder blades together, that's completely fine. Stay in that Cobra position. But if this is happening and you cannot pull those shoulders down, I would rather see you in that mini Cobra where you're not taking as much pressure to try and lift up into that full Cobra. Hope that makes sense. What else have we got? Again, similar, well, the chest, again, it's the same thing. It's the opening of the chest that you want rather than the closing of the chest. So again, it's all about where those shoulders are sitting. The hands too far forwards. Now again, what tends to happen? The shoulders lift because the hands are too far in front. So they might be further out, wide. That's a better position to be in, to be fair. But as soon as you come in front and you come forwards, you will always find your shoulders will pull up, and it's really hard to pull them down at that point, but it's also not opening out my chest enough. So making sure where our hands are is really key to being in that correct Cobra position. So the hands, I'm just going to do it from the side because it's probably not that easy to see. So where your hands are, I usually say sort of come underneath the shoulders, but actually sliding that little bit further back is where you need to be. So you don't want your fingers in front of your shoulders, and you should be able to easily see that by just looking at where your fingers are. So just slide them back, tuck those elbows in. So when you're pushing up, again, if you're coming into that full Cobra position, your hands are in the right position to be able to pull the shoulders down and the shoulders back. And you're really trying to get those shoulder blades flat to your back. You're not here, you're not sort of here, your elbows are tucked in, you're pulling the shoulders down and you're drawing the shoulder blades down your back. It's still the same if you're in that half cobra, your hands are going to still be in the same position. So remember, your hands are not forwards from your shoulders or out here. They are under and slightly back. Okay, so make sure your hands are in the right position before you start. Obviously, if you're doing Sphinx, you're on your forearms, so your hands are going to be in front, your elbows are going to be under your shoulders. Thinking about when you're trying to come into a full cobra. So it's all about your posture. We need to be in the correct posture. Like I say, it's better to be in that half cobra if your posture's not quite right in a full cobra. If you have back issues, your back is tight, you've got lots of lumbar issues going on with your discs, it's not a good idea to come into full cobra anyway. So just stick with a Sphinx or stick with a half cobra. I take sort of, because we're overextending through the lumbar spine. So it's fine again if your back is all right to take it, but not always is that the case. Obviously, you will see that some people will lift their pelvis off the floor. Now, if you was coming into an upward dog, that would be that position. You would be lifting the pelvis off the floor. But when you're in a cobra position, your pelvis should actually be touching the floor. Now, if your pelvis is lifting to get you into a full cobra, that means the flexibility isn't there for your back. So actually, you again want to start here and build it up if possible till you eventually get to be that little bit higher. If your pelvis is coming off the floor because your back's too tight, then that's just putting more pressure on the lower back, so don't do it. This would be an advanced posture that we would potentially do in like our rounds of sun salutation, but I would only advise going into an upward dog if you've got a very flexible spine. Like I said, don't go into it because you can't keep your pelvis on the floor, if that makes sense. So the emphasis really when you're coming up should be on engaging your upper back muscles. So the more you engage the upper back muscles, the better it is for your flexibility in your spine, but also engage your legs and engage your glutes. So again, when you're pushing up, you should be squeezing those glutes together and activating through the legs, which will then help with your posture and help with that flexibility through your back as well. Even again, if you're in that half cobra, still the same. Push the pelvis down, switch on the glutes, switch on through the legs. All right. Is there anything else? Probably not. I think that's the main things to look at is just kind of go through the body. Where is your head? Where are your shoulders? Is the chest open? Are your shoulder blades sticking out or are they trying to stay nice and flat to your back? Shoulder blades are gliding down your back. Activate your glutes, activate your legs. Don't come up too high if you've got lower back issues. And like I say, don't lift the pelvis off the ground just to get into that full cobra. Just work on building up that flexibility and that strength in your back first. All right, if you've got any questions or we've not covered anything that you want to ask, feel free just to give me a message. Thank you. Bye.